Hey YouTube, I just wanted to do a little talk here, talk about myself. I haven't done that yet. I'm a Christian. I know if you've looked at my page you know I'm a Christian, but just want to tell you a little bit about my faith and why I believe in God and do a testimonial video. Shouldn't take too long. Anyway, this started back, well, I've been a Christian my whole life, but I really found myself asking about God, and then I went to a spirit-filled church and really found my place. And then life was wonderful. You know, I got married to a wonderful woman, got my life all in order, and made more money than I ever made before. And when I was at the top, I guess, me and my wife had been married about a year. I just had bought her a new motorcycle, and we went on a motorcycle ride with some family members. And the ride went cool. I mean, the ride was great. This was in '09. We got back from this motorcycle ride, and I was sick. I didn't know it, but I went to the doctor. I actually was constipated, which is weird. So I was constipated, went to the doctor for something to help me out, and they gave me something. It didn't help. So I went back a couple days later to get me something else, and it didn't help either. So the doctor said, let's do a test. So they just did a simple x-ray, and they said my spleen was swollen and enlarged, and they'd have to take it out. You know, I wasn't cool with that, but, you know, okay, so my spleen's enlarged, I got to take it out. Drag. They said, well, let me do another test, though, make sure before we go do this surgery. So a couple days passed, I went and did another test, an ultrasound, and I thought ultrasounds were only for for women, you know, who are pregnant. But they did this ultrasound, and they were checking not only where my spleen was, but where my liver was as well. And they found something else, but they didn't tell me anything. So what happened was, the doctor said, okay, we're going to do another test, we're going to do a biopsy. This time I was kind of freaking out, but I went through it because, you know, I was told by the doctor I had to. So they did a biopsy of my liver, and they found cancer in my liver, which was really a drag. So I was in an HMO at the time, so I'm going to tell you about all these different miracles that happened to me in my life. So I was in an HMO, and you know, in an HMO, I don't know if any of you are in an HMO in America, but if they tell you to go to this doctor, that's the only doctor that's approved, that's the doctor you have to go to. So we went to this doctor who was, he was a breast cancer doctor, I'll put it to you simply. So he didn't know what we were going to do. He just goes, oh, I'm going to just do the normal stuff we do with your kind of cancer. The kind of cancer I had was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I didn't know that at the time, though. So we went to this breast cancer doctor, and we got bad vibes. So me and the wife, and my mom was there actually, and my sister-in-law. So we all got bad vibes from this doctor. So we kind of stepped back. My wife, by a miracle of God, got me in to see a different doctor in a completely different city, out of my network, out of everything, and got it approved. I don't know if you can do that with an HMO. I've never heard of it, but through prayer and my wife, we got me to a much better doctor. So I went and saw this other doctor, and he goes, yeah, you have it really bad. You have stage 4 cancer. What we're going to expect you to do, we're going to put you through a couple of sessions, series as they call it, of chemotherapy, which lasts about 6 months each, and then maybe stem cell therapy, and because we caught this so late, it's not looking great. So I said, well, you know, okay. And so we said, we got to do this chemotherapy thing, so we went and got ready to do chemotherapy. And what happened was, while we're filling out this paperwork, we're reading all this documentation, and I didn't have any children yet. My wife didn't have any children. You know, we were newlyweds, no children. So we're reading this, and it all says that this affects you, and you cannot have children after you have chemotherapy from the medications that they give you. So we saved some. I'll put it to you bluntly, we saved some. Unfortunately, since my cancer was such late stages, I didn't produce anything. Realistically, I produced less than the average male would produce, a lot less than the average male would produce one time. So anyway, we saved what we could. Then went through chemotherapy. And what we were going to do is every quarter I was going to have a scan to see where the cancer was in my system and how well I was reacting to this therapy. So in the meantime, being a good Christian, I was praying. I was falling on my knees, praying a lot. Went to a church I had been going to for a couple of years and had them lay hands on me and pray for me, a lot of friends. I was going to a new church, and I had the pastor of the new church also lay hands on me and pray for me. My wife, shoot, everybody. A lot of people were praying for me. I was praying for myself. But, excuse me. Anyway, just got a little broken up. Anyway, I was praying hard. So, the first scan, right at the beginning of let me go back. At the time when they were going to do the biopsy, I was actually watching them do another ultrasound to see where the cancer was, and my whole chest lit up with cancer. Everywhere they looked, there was cancer. So I was really bad off, and I didn't know it. They told my wife that they wouldn't tell me this, but they told my wife that I only had a 25% chance at the best time to live. So she was making other arrangements. We were basically getting ready for me to check out. But we had faith in God that I wasn't going to pass away. See, I didn't. So what happened was, after the first quarter, about 3 months, I went for another PET. I went for a PET scan the first time. They said it was really bad, stage 4, blah, blah, blah. The next PET scan, after 3 months of this chemotherapy, I was doing chemotherapy 2 times every other week. So I was basically in the hospital a week. Every other week I was in the hospital for a week, pretty much. It was really lousy. I wouldn't recommend it. All my hair fell out. It was bad. But after 3 months of chemotherapy, they did a scan on me, and I was cancer-free. So I think that's pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool. I was cancer-free. We were going to stop chemotherapy, but my doctor really suggested I go through 1 full series. So, we had the Lord on our side, but we still had the wisdom of man. So we kind of said, okay, we went through 1 full series of chemotherapy. All right, so we went through all that. And I got through the first season, 6 months of chemotherapy, horrible, but I got through it. I was strong. I still went to work, and I got through it, and I'm cancer-free. And then we wanted to have kids. Of course, what we were dreaming about and praying about was having children. So me and my wife, started doing what we were supposed to do to have children, and I went and got tested for that. And doctors had said beforehand, there's no way I'm going to have any kids. So we were going to just try and see what God had in mind for us, and we had some saved, and we go use that. So went, and then I got myself tested, and I had nothing. A few months later, went again. We were still trying. Nothing was happening. Had myself tested again, and again, nothing happened. There was nothing going on. And then it was almost a year to the date that we started trying to have a kid. And what happened was we were ready to go do in vitro because nothing was working. We were going to use the little bit I had to do in vitro. And the week that we were going to go do in vitro, we found out my wife was pregnant. She said, I'm late. I'm never late. What's going on? I said, hey, babe, we've been praying for you. You're pregnant. And it turned out she was pregnant. We now have a beautiful little girl. I don't know if you've seen the video of me cutting her umbilical cord, but yeah, we have a beautiful little girl. It's only 2 years later. Really, it was 2009. By the end of 2009, she was starting to feel better because it was June of 2009 when they found out I was sick. And now it's, October of 2011. I'm big and fat again. Got all my hair back. Got a beautiful little girl in the other room. So that's just my testimony. Now, if you watch this little testimony and you know God, you think you know God, but you don't have a relationship with God, I really urge you to have a relationship with God. It doesn't take much. It takes just a little prayer. You just got to say, hey, God, I'm a sinner. Because I'm a sinner. Oh, man. The things I've done. But even though I've done these things, he came back and said, done all these other things wonderfully for me, even though I was a sinner. So all I have to do is say, hey, God, I know I'm a sinner. Jesus, I know you're real. Come into my life. Be my Lord, be my Savior. It's really all you have to do is get on your knees and pray and ask God into your life. And Don't make it religion, make it a relationship. You know, I truly believe that a relationship with God is something personal, but you need a good church. So I'm going to link a couple of churches that are good in this, and if you're over in the LA area, I live in Los Angeles area, there's a good church I go to. There's another good church down in Downey that I used to go to when I lived down in that area, down in the Orange County area. But I'm going to link these churches underneath, and if you're seeking, I encourage you to go to church. There's awesome people there. Come to my church, hey, you can come say hey to me. I usher on Wednesday nights. So, well, anyway, I guess that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless. Have a great day.